Hey, everybody, let me take you back to 1977. I was a junior at Penn State. Yeah, I'm old. When I spotted a little bulletin board post it note somewhere about a guy who had a bunch of albums for sale in one of the campus dorms. Well, as a big music fan, I said, what the hell? I'll check it out, see what he had. And one of the albums he had available for sale was by this new band, AC/DC. I hadn't heard of them. Pretty much nobody had at that point. They had put out two albums in their native Australia in 1975. And then in the spring of 76, their first international release, High Voltage. And that was the one this guy had available. I was intrigued by the cover. I mean, look at it. This dude in a schoolboy outfit holding a guitar. And so the guy slapped it on his turntable. We all had stereos with turntables in college back then. And immediately upon hearing the opening riff of It's a Long Way to the Top, I was hooked. I think I bought this and two other albums for $5 total from the guy. I have no memory what the other two albums might have been, but my first hearing of It's a Long Way to the Top and the rest of High Voltage will be etched in my mind forever. So as it turned out, the guitarist on that album cover and one of AC/DC's co-founders, Angus Young, this guy, happens to be turning 70 this week, March 31st. A good excuse to poll a bunch of my Facebook friends to get their absolute three favorite songs by AC/DC. An amazing band that has been rocking the world for a half century. I'll give you a recap of the voting in just a bit. I'll tell you that I've had the pleasure of seeing AC/DC three times over the years, the first time being in June 1979 in Allentown, Pennsylvania, as part of their co-headlining tour with UFO, another one of my favorite bands. AC/DC opened the show that night, and frankly, they stole the show. It was a few months before the release of Highway to Hell, that album that came out and turned them into bona fide stars, but also about 8 months before the untimely death of lead singer Bon Scott. I later saw them in 1990 and 2008 with the great Brian Johnson on vocals. Let's see, is Brian here? Oh, yeah, there he is. There's Brian up there. As you know, they're touring the States again this April and May with more European dates than this summer. Choosing a trio of favorite songs by AC/DC is a nearly impossible task, I know. But hey, everyone did the best they could with that challenge. I mean, in addition to all of the massive classic rock staples, there are terrific deeper cuts like Girls Got Rhythm, Shot Down in Flames, and the rarely heard Carry Me Home. Look that one up. For the record, my three favorites from AC/DC today, anyway, would be It's a Long Way to the Top. Hey, you never forget your first love. Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap, and You Shook Me All Night Long. As always with these polls, a first place vote was worth 3 points, a second place vote 2 points, and yeah, a third place vote 1 point. So what about the results? Well, first I'll mention that a bunch of terrific AC/DC songs got very little support, 1 or 0 votes each. Songs like Girls Got Rhythm, High Voltage, Jailbreak, Money Talks, Problem Child, Rock and Roll Train, Shot in the Dark, and Touch Too Much. I love all of those, but nope, they're not in the top 13 as it turned out. Okay, just missing the top 10. Songs 13 through 11 based on the voting. Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, Shoot to Thrill, and the classic Big Balls. In the 10th spot, then, a song that was a favorite during the Bon Scott days that's still beloved today. A delightful tune about a woman whose measurements are 42, 39, 56. You can say she's got it all. Whole Lotta Rosie. Landing at number 9, Break Out the Cannons, the song that is typically the final song of the night at AC/DC concerts. For those about to rock, we salute you. Fire! At number 8, then, the opening track on the amazing Back in Black album in 1980, Hell's Bells. In the 7th spot, a classic that was recorded 50 years ago this spring, TNT. I love that song. I sing that one in the shower a lot. Too much information? Oi. Number 6 is one that, frankly, I thought would be higher in the voting. It is the title track to Back in Black. There it is right there. AC/DC's Back in Black, which, by the way, is the second best-selling album of all time behind only Michael Jackson's Thriller. Okay, the top 5 AC/DC songs based on your voting. Well, number 5 is the one that got AC/DC worldwide attention in the fall of 1979. The title track from Highway to Hell, still a staple of classic rock radio 46 years later. Number 4 is the one I told you about at the outset, the first AC/DC song I ever heard back in the day. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. A great video if you haven't seen it, by the way, with Angus, Malcolm, Bon, and those glorious bagpipers from the Rats of Tobruk Pipe Band on the streets of Melbourne. Number 3, another classic from the Bon Scott era that was released in Australia and Europe in 1976, but not in the US until 1981, a year after Bon's death. Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. Such a fun song that was. All right, so just 2 songs left. And as I put up a chart showing how the voting went, you can see that we actually had a tie for the top spot regarding your AC/DC favorites, with both Thunderstruck and You Shook Me All Night Long earning 43 total points and getting 9 first place votes. But because Thunderstruck got more second place votes, I'm declaring that one with its great opening riff the winner, and You Shook Me All Night Long a very close second. I gotta tell you, some classic rock songs from my formative years really don't do it for me anymore, but that is not the case with AC/DC tunes. Their songs still really resonate with me. I mean, I hear TNT, Whole Lot of Rosie, Back in Black, Shook Me All Night Long, It's a Long Way to the Top, and I get re-energized. I really do. Yeah, AC/DC is and will always be one of my absolute favorite bands. Thanks to everybody who voted in my little poll. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, please. And happy birthday, Angus.